Hello, hello, hello. Hello, hello. I am Dr. Mila Bennett, board certified plastic surgeon. My colleague, Dr. Amaka, will be jumping on here with me. This is going to be such a good conversation. Hi, Delightful 2000. Hello, hello. You guys share the video. Share the video and let people know that we're on. Yes, it's a really good question. Hi, Jill, H19. Hi, Ray Giggles. Season's greetings. Hello, hello. Hi, Hash Celicia. Hey, Faith Blasian. Hi, prettyful woman for you. Not by might nor by power. Hi, hello, hello. Hi, Renee R. Daniels. Hi, Leela79. Oh, yeah, we're just waiting for Dr. Amaka. There she is. I just saw her name pop up. I never got a DM back about the fiber information. Are you? I didn't. I sent the fiber information to somebody. I'll check after I get off of here. Bring my other phone.
Hey, Mom.
Bring me my other phone.
Baby,
I'm live, baby.
okay, Mom.
No liposuction giveaway. Good one, pretty for woman for you. Okay. That will be a good one. The liposuction giveaway.
Wait, so.
You heard that?
No, I saw the comment.
She got the jokes, honey. She got jokes. Pretty for woman for you. She be on all the videos. That's what she here with the jokes today. That's good. I like the humor.
Yeah, I saw that and I just thought I died laughing.
Look, she bust out laughing. People don't realize how much work lipo is. That's the last thing I'm going to do for free.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah, I ain't doing lipo for free. That's too much.
No, thank you.
While streaming on Facebook, phone down. No, we're not streaming on Facebook tonight. So,
no Facebook.
Station.
We should call all these topics the things that no one talks about.
The things that no one talks about when we talk about it with each other.
We always like, let's talk about this. I'm like,
yeah, this is a good one. And this was Dr. Amaka's suggestion. And when she said it, I was like, ooh, because
I don't even know how I was in the kitchen. When you texted me,
we already know what it was. What was it?
I was in the kitchen and I was like, it was
that Holy Spirit, child. That Holy Ghost. The Holy Ghost be whispering. He be that still small voice.
I know. It's like, where did that even? And it was just, I just boom, you know.
It was. It's good. It's important because the thing is, what people don't realize, from the patient perspective, you're just. I will put it on YouTube, Jillian. Yes, I'm going to put it on YouTube. From the patient perspective, people don't think about the doctors as humans and they don't realize emotionally and sometimes even spiritually and even physically. That's what makes somebody say lipo giveaway, child, is you not realizing the physical that goes with some of the things that we do.
Oh, no, but exactly.
It's a really big responsibility outside of the actual procedure. And I'm not talking about post-op care, I'm not talking about that. Like, knowing that what the Hippocratic Oath we take says, first do no harm. And sometimes, it's not often, but sometimes you realize that what you did may have actually caused harm to the person, not physically, but emotionally.
Because were not ready.
They weren't ready. And no one ever talks about that. I'm in some groups with plastic surgeons. That comes up in the groups
all the time.
It is like when someone when a patient starts going off the wall about something, and you're looking at it like, this is great, like it looks great, and they're like,
you're trying to comprehend, like, what is going on here? Like, what did I miss? Yeah, then you have that moment like, oh my gosh, I missed something pre-op.
Right. What did I miss? And in our training, they teach us about, red flags. there was an acronym we had about people with nose jobs that were dangerous.
I remember that acronym.
Should we say it or no?
I don't know.
I don't know if we should say it. That might be just like an inside, but we literally had an acronym for the patient that might kill you. Like the attributes of the person that like are the most aggressive when stuff doesn't go the way they had it planned out in their head.
And people have killed plastic surgeons.
Yeah. And here's the thing: people don't realize that we're not psychics, right? So I can't figure out what you have going on in your head if you don't share with me what it is,
or what you envision. Are you envisioning turning a rock to a diamond? Like you might think that's going to happen in your head, but you never say that to me. Now I will admit.
Or you might be painting a picture, and since you're not physically painting a picture, you can describe something, and what I see and what you say don't align, and we don't know it because neither one of us can see the picture that's being painted in each of our heads.
Yes.
I had this patient one time who she was a consult for otoplasty, and she actually said the word otoplasty. Like, so people that look up stuff.
That's not a word that a lot of people know.
Yeah, but when you're doing all that research on YouTube, you learn the words, right? So yeah. That was the first thing. Okay, so she her anti-helical fold was missing, like the typical.
So that just means it's like
this
like
part.
Your ear is like this, as opposed to having this.
So when this fold is missing, your ear sticks out. This fold actually makes your ear pin in. So with otoplasty, in most cases, we recreate that. We do things to the cartilage, and and then it makes your ear go back. I did that. I was like, oh my gosh, this is so cute. Oh my gosh, this is so cute. I was in love with it. I'm taking all these pictures. I'm showing her the picture. Child, it was like maybe 2 weeks after the surgery, and she was like waiting for what actually was bothering her was not this. It was the actual helix.
Like the anatomic part of the ear.
Yeah, it was the actual helix wasn't as round as, like, it was a little bit more flattened.
Wow.
And she was missing her anti-helical fold, and so I did that, and she was wondering when this was going to roll in, and I already did it.
Wow.
And I didn't even see it. Do you know how long it took when she was trying to explain after the fact? What I didn't see it. I saw your ear is in. It's pretty. It was cute.
So you were like, this looks cute to me.
I was like, this is good. She was and she kept trying to explain it. I was like, what are you talking about? See, it wasn't here on this picture. It's here on this picture. Only words you knew was otoplasty. And so what she was describing, she was talking about her ear being out, but she was talking about this part being out, not the actual. It was literal. And I was like, oh my God. I don't even know how I could have. She ended up being okay, but it was, it was fine after, like, when I explained to her, she was like, oh, and I'm like, we can go back at it after stuff heals, like, and I won't charge you for it. She was like, she didn't go there, but that was a huge, that was extremely humbling, because I was all,
no, yeah,
and it was cute. I got defensive at first, like, I'm like, with my staff, I'm like, they're like, what? I don't understand what. None of us knew what she was talking about. But yeah, that happens. I never had anybody ask me to roll this back out, and she never really said it was rolled out. Like, I didn't see that. She didn't have no anti-helical fold. We talked about fixing that part. She was like, but she thought I was talking about this, and I was talking about this, and I thought she was talking about this, and she was talking about that. She wasn't crazy or nothing like that. It was just totally but it was definitely a situation where we missed each other, because you can't always, when you're describing something, and when she was even showing me pictures, I was seeing anti-helical fold missing. And
as a plastic surgeon, that's what we learned.
That's what we learned.
Anti-helical fold. You gotta, bring the curve back in.
I've never done the rim on anybody, and I've never done. So then I started looking. I was like, just for my knowledge, how do I fix that? And you can. Mm-hmm. It wasn't a lot of out there about it, but I was like, okay, that's neat. You know, but it did show me. It made me aware that even when there's a lot of communication, we still always can't be in each other's heads and understand. Like it could still.
And there are certain things that are just I mean, because we think about it, like it is 6 years of learning art, basically.
Right.
It is so hard to describe. Like you see someone come in the office and you have a vision of like, oh, his house gonna. It's so hard to describe to them like, this is exactly how you are gonna look, right? We have before and afters, and you can compare before and afters. Like this person kind of looks like you, and you kind of turn out like this. But I always tell people like, do not, and this is a big thing too, is people, we get on social media and you see someone's before and after, like, oh, I want that, and it's like, whoa, like, what are you starting with? If you're not starting,
and you can start off with the same shape as her, but if your skin is different,
it'd be different.
Your skin is different.
Mm-hmm.
Your muscle composition is different. Your diet is different. All of that.
Right. And I think, and the biggest thing, I spend so much time, like literally, like my eye. Someone was like, "You have very piercing eye contact." Like at a consult, because I'm like, I literally feel like I'm trying to look into when they're talking.
You looking at their soul to see if you about to unleash a demon, child,
or to see like, are we on the same page? Like, is this gonna work? And sometimes you get, like you said, sometimes you get it wrong.
Sometimes you do, and so there's been a few times where afterwards I was like, I wish I never touched her.
Because once it's done, I mean, there's not much more. I mean, at that point, you were just trying to reel in what's been unleashed.
Yeah, it's too late. It's too late. Once it's done, you got to do your best to see that thing through and hopefully get them to a place of internal peace about what happened.
Because I remember having a conversation with a patient, and I was like, we were talking, and she was like, I mean, it was, to me, I was like, I'm so happy with the outcome. And like, she was like little things. And I stopped and I said, I don't think this is about the surgery. I was like, I think there's deeper things going on that I don't know that you'll ever be okay with your appearance. And she like stopped, shocked. She was like, I can't believe you would say that. And I was like, I'm being so serious, because when I talk to you, I just see something else happening. So then she sends me this long email later. She's like, oh my gosh, Amaka, Dr. Amaka, what you said was what you said I thought about, and it's so true. A lot of these things kind of stem from my childhood. And I mean, it was a long email, and I was like, in my mind, I was like, oh my gosh, I wish we had this conversation before.
Mm-hmm.
Before we did surgery.
What I learned that fact, I told this story a few times I told the story with you before, I believe, about the breast cancer patient that I had.
Mm-hmm.
And and she wasn't the only patient. She wasn't the only breast reconstruction patient that after it was over, it was really hard getting them to come to terms or find the beauty in the reconstruction, even when it was like really good reconstructions. And then I started learning, I said, you know what? When a woman goes through, and it translates over to other stuff, but this is one of those areas that is really concentrated in, because what happens, it's a traumatic thing from the start.
It is. And it's not
You're
your
traumatized
choice.
The day you get the diagnosis.
Yeah. And it's not your choice. Like you
it's
have
not your
to
choice.
No, there's no choice.
You don't want none of it. You've lost control. Now you got to get your breast cut off. Then you got to go. And so a lot of times the women will be, no breast, I don't care how good it looks, is going to replace their native one in a lot of their mind. Like, and it's because it was traumatically ripped from them against their will and then replaced with something that's artificial. And even if it looks great, you can't feel it. You don't get enjoyment from it. You know what I mean?
It just feels like it's a replacement, but it's not the original.
Yeah, that's, and so that was doing breast reconstruction is when I really learned that, because I didn't really talk about that during my training. I didn't really catch that during my training.
In training, we focus so much on doing the
surgery
job and learning the surgery,
yeah,
that we don't really delve into the emotional part behind a lot of it. And a lot of the things I learned, like from doing breast reconstruction and just talking to women and really being like, okay, I really want to understand like what you feel about this reconstruction, and then just figuring out like, these are the breasts that held up a dress for me, like these are the breasts that I breastfed with, and they're gone. The reconstruction could be as beautiful as it'll be, but it's not. So it's not what I was given. You know, it was taken away from me by nature.
Mm-hmm. And unfairly, you're afraid for your life. You know, literally, it's just a lot. If you don't, with that, the thing about breast reconstruction is we know about that trauma that happened to them. But when people are coming in for other stuff,
we don't know.
You have no idea what, and sometimes they don't even realize it. Mm-hmm. Sometimes they don't realize it until after they start tripping out, and they'll be like, I don't know why I'm feeling this way, you know, and then it may come out, it may come to the surface. So this is part of why now, you know, I would rather spend a few hours getting to know someone and getting an understanding of why here, why now, so that I can maybe cut some of this stuff off at the pass, so that I don't have to try to navigate getting them to a place of peace after the fact when it's something traumatic.
Yeah. And you can always tell the people that it's just like, it's so interesting. And I would say the majority of people I see like have this sense, and I feel like it's the same with you. It's just the people you attract.
Yeah,
it's a lot of it social media. Mm-hmm. A lot of people kind of have peace, and they're like, and you do something, and you're like, mm-hmm. Oh God. And sometimes I'm like, oh, you know what, we can do this. This like, Dr. Martha, I'm fine. Like,
yeah, no, this is good. Right. That's most of them.
That's most of them. Yeah. But you know,
but
every once in a while, you're like,
the ones that slip by that actually, even though they're the ones who take up the most time, and those are the ones that are still on your mind when you done left work,
when you sleep.
Yeah, those are the ones. And so trying to,
and you know, it could be like it could be 95.5. It's the 5. You know what I mean? It's always the part that kind of has, I'm not gonna say negative, but kind of the part that's not like all the great stuff, you know, that sticks with you. You know, that's mm-hmm. just the quote 80-20 rule that we always talk about.
Mm-hmm. So I think too, like I had a patient today. She came in for a skin consult. Oh, no. What's wrong?
No. What's wrong? I'm turning off. Okay, here, it's off. Say hi, Dr. Mila.
Hi, sweetie. She's like, hi.
Hi.
Hey, pretty girl.
You gonna dig in your nose now?
She just like Mila Rose. That's the same thing Mila Rose do when she get. I'm like, Mila Rose, you gonna dig up your nose on Instagram?
Like now?
They so free. Listen,
you know, that freedom is, if we could all have the freedom.
Listen, Mila Rose be sitting up in her princess dress with a tiara on, nail polish on her hands and feet, and then she'll just pass gas and dig up her nose right in, like, whatever. I had to pass gas. I'm like, dang, Mila Rose, you all dressed. She be all up that nose. She's so cute.
It's ice cream. You want ice cream? Yeah. Now? Okay. It's ice cream. I'm gonna get some. You know.
Come with it. We'll go with you to the kitchen.
We gonna go with you to the.
Yeah, we'll go with you to the. I love your kitchen.
It's my favorite place in the house.
I know. I'm so excited about my cookbook. Now I just
to see what you make.
I can't wait. I got to decide what I'm gonna do first. I can't wait to get in my kitchen with my cookbook.
It's so fun.
What were we saying?
What were we saying? See.
Oh, I was saying I had a skincare patient today. I mean, she came in for a skin consult.
That's right. Uh-huh.
I have no idea how we ended up in this conversation. And a child, I was all up in Genesis, like going through, and all of a sudden I see tears coming down her face. And she said, wow, she literally didn't realize so many things after that encounter. They had to come and drag me out the room.
Oh, really? And it was for skin?
It was a skin consult, but we ended up. I've had two. I had a skin consult last week on Wednesday or Thursday, that turned into like a therapy session.
Really?
She was, because what she saw and what I saw were not the same thing, and the reason why she saw it so much more vivid than I did is because she was traumatized by stuff that was making her.
I could see that.
Like it was amplifying what she had going on in her head, and it was something that she felt like she could control when there was so much other things in her life that she couldn't control, and so she started taking it out on her face. Not looking at it like that. She's not saying I'm taking it out on my face, but that's what was happening. She was putting all of her energy and focus on her skin, and I was just like, her skin wasn't bad. I mean, it was definitely something I could improve upon. That's most people, but she didn't have bad skin. And if I saw her in the store, I wouldn't be like, oh, she needs some pretty RX. I wouldn't have thought that. I wouldn't have even, paid it any attention. There was like, I mean, I saw what she pointed out, but it was hard to see it. And if she didn't point it out, I would have looked over it. And she was acting like, I have to do that. She was like, she thought she wasn't even presentable to the world with that, without covering and all this other. I'm like, girl, I'm like, do you have on makeup now? Because I could barely see it.
Wow.
But and then so I started asking her after like maybe the third thing she pointed out that was hard to see. I just asked her, I said, what in your life do you not have control of? She started crying. I'm like, ding, ding, ding. An hour later, we had went through all of this stuff and she realized that she was in fact trying to gain control of something. And this was something that she felt like she could gain control over. Now, here's the thing. Control over something is oftentimes one of the underlying culprits of why people show up to us when it's a pathologic reason that they're there. It's a lack of control and a whole bunch of other things, right? And so the reason why that's dangerous for us is if they don't realize they're coming there because they're trying to control something when they don't have control over other things, and it doesn't go the way they imagined it in their heads. Guess what happens when they try to gain control of that?
Because once you have, I mean, there's so much of lack of control afterwards in terms of just the healing process, the swelling, like the result. There's so much that you don't have control over after it happens.
Exactly. So that's why if the person's underlying reason for getting the surgery is their lack of control in other areas, that is a setup for disaster for me and for them. And the thing is, they're not going to say I'm coming in because I can't control nothing else in my life. They don't realize it.
They don't realize it.
Yeah. So
how are you? Because this is I thought about this actually. I've been thinking a lot about this since you started with the plastic surgery prep program that you're doing. That I've been thinking a lot about this. I'm like, oh my gosh, like this is great because people can dive deep and figure out the real reasons why that they didn't even know because there's so many things that are building up inside of you, and so you present for something, but you don't even realize that that's why. Mm-hmm. So what I was wondering is like, how in your program are you going to get to that?
Well, part of the reason that was my issue is lack of control when I thought I was controlling stuff. And basically the process that God took me through to show me that, I'm going to walk people through that. Like all of the stuff that God used to show me, first of all, I'm not supposed to be in control. He is. And making me comfortable relinquishing control to him. And so then if I understand that I'm not supposed to be in control, then now I don't have to assert control over all kind of random stuff that's distracting me from what I'm supposed to be doing and stealing my peace. So basically what I'm doing in the process where people are walking with Jesus, they're going to be walking to the things that the Lord used to transform my mind and my heart to help me understand I don't want to be in control. I want him to be in control. And how I got to a place of being comfortable doing that. Mm-hmm. Like that made such a big difference because what happens, I use this analogy with this lady today. I had 4 interactions today that turned into like hour and a half sessions. And one of the ladies, I was literally, she was a pre-op. And before I got in there, 2 of the people from my staff was like, she's really nervous. You know, like she was so nervous. The person who came with her, they were nervous too. They was standing up and pacing in the room. And it's like, just relax, like chill, like you good, like do your paperwork. You good. You good here. Right? Trying to get her.
It's a safe space.
Yeah, but they were warning me like she's really nervous. She's really nervous. Okay. So when I went into the room, she was so nervous. And so I'm like, what's all that? What's the nervousness about? Like, you know, why are you like, it's normal to be nervous, but then, you know, there's a point where I'm like, I literally said to her, did the Lord tell you something that I need to know? Mm-hmm. I said that, like, did the Lord tell you ain't supposed to get this surgery? Because if somebody's that nervous, sometimes I'm like, maybe, you know, they're trying to force something that ain't supposed to be happening right now. So when we started talking about the control thing, I'm like, it's like somebody drops marbles all over the floor, and you keep trying to stand up, and you slipping all over the place because the marbles this is what we're doing in our lives, and we're trying
and you just keep trying to stand up. Just lay down.
The only way you're gonna do it is if you can get a spot clear that you can stand straight up on the floor, because the floor is solid. God is the floor. The marbles is all this other mess that's moving around that we're trying to stand on top of and assert control, and you can't. Even if you stand up for a second, you're gonna come tumbling back down if you're standing on a bunch of loose marbles. And I said, sometimes what we do is like, you'll just be laying on the marbles. So at least then when you fall, it's not a long fall from the floor. You ain't banging your head because you're already down there, but you still ain't really in control of nothing because you can't stand up. Mm-hmm. She started crying. That's what I'm doing. I'm trying to control everything, and I know, because when you try to control all this mess that be coming at us, we can't control all of this stuff.
Could not.
So that's what, you know, like in the program, I'm walking people through the process that God took me through to make me feel safe to relinquish control to Him. Because the reason people don't relinquish control to Him is because they don't feel safe to do it. Usually when people don't do anything, it's because they don't feel safe to do it. Mm-hmm. You think He's not going to catch you. If you trust God, you will relinquish control to Him. And people will say, I'll say, you trust God? Oh yeah, I trust God. No, you don't.
Yeah, I'll feel like, I trust God, but then they'll be like, but this doesn't sound like, it don't sound like you have trust. This
is all I have to tell them to help them see that they don't trust God. And it's not a judgment, because I didn't trust Him either, and I thought that I did. That's what the devil loves, for us to think we got it under control when we don't, because he like, good, let her think she got it under control, because then you're not doing anything to fix it. Mm-hmm. Right?
You're just like living in your
because I'm like, I do trust God. You know, I'm praying, I'm reading my Bible.
I got my Bible.
I'm tithing and going to church. But meanwhile, I'm walking around on marbles.
It's so funny when you take on that voice. Whenever I watch your lives, I just die laughing. It's so good. But it's so good because it's like
this is what I tell people to help them realize. This is how y'all can figure out if you trust them or not. It's real simple. Is it people that if you need something done and you need it done on time, right, thorough, the way you would do it, that you call to help you? Dang, Dr. Maka, it ain't nobody you would call?
Oh, you asking me?
Yeah, I'm like, is it certain people that you sit there like you thinking? I'm like, well, dang, you thinking that hard?
No, I thought you were. You know how you ask a rhetorical question?
Yeah, it's rhetorical, but you here with me, you can answer it.
I thought you wanted everybody to think about what you said.
I do want everybody to think about it. Who is that person that if you need something done, I got Gigi. That's my person. Gigi there. When SWAT came, that's who I called. Gigi. Okay, Gigi, like, what you want me to do? I'm like, please don't come here. Okay, I just want you.
Aside from like my immediate family, I mean, obviously, like
there's even people in your family that you will be like, I ain't calling them.
Yeah, that's true. But I mean, if anything, it would be my husband. Like,
right, because
you know, he's gonna be there. Like, no matter. I could say, can you drive?
And you know, when your husband, when he say he can do it, you know, you can forget about it now. He gonna take care of it.
I'm not even thinking about it.
You ain't even gonna think about it no more, right? Okay, so then let's say your husband is like out of the country or something, and you need somebody to help you, and then it's the backup plan is somebody that be late, or you know, they might forget that they even said they was gonna do it. When they show up, they're gonna be missing something. They gonna maybe go to the wrong, like, you know, they're just not reliable, right? So if that is all you got to rely on, you'll still let them help you, but do you forget about it?
No.
And what do you do?
Be checking on it every.
Thank you. Right? You're gonna be calling. Oh, I just wanted to make sure that you remember you got to pick up the baby from school at 2
or
at 10 o'clock.
10, and then at 2 I'm like, let me check the video cam and see if they home.
Right, you know? And then you're gonna be like, you got her, and then you're gonna be like, y'all at the house yet?
Y'all home yet? Home yet? Okay, y'all get something to eat?
Right.
Hey, how's she doing?
Exactly. When my kids with Gigi, I forget I got kids. But it's right because I trust Gigi.
Right.
I trust her, so I can literally, when she say I got it, Mila, I got it, I can release that from my brain right now and occupy my brain with other stuff. Right? But if it's a person who's not reliable, then I'm gonna be meddling all up in it, and at any moment I'm gonna be like, listen, I gotta go.
It's more stressful than just doing it yourself.
It actually is. So that's what happens. So here's what happens. This is why when you say I trust God, and you say I'm gonna give it to the Lord. People love to say I just pray, I'm gonna give it to the Lord. Child, they ain't gave nothing to the Lord, because the next minute you know they sticking their nose in it and they meddling trying to help the Lord. He like, will you please go over here? And you still ain't did what I told you to do. Get out of my business.
You're not even following instruction. What you trying to do over here, you know?
And so when you won't let God have it and handle it, this is an indication that you don't trust him.
You really don't.
Because if you trusted him, you would really let it go and let him handle it. And then if he tell you do this or that, you would do it. And so when the Lord tells people to do stuff and they heard the message, they just can't understand it, so they don't do it. Because you don't trust him. You don't trust that what you think, what he said gonna happen on the other side is gonna happen.
So you worry, you get anxious, you lose trust, you lose sleep, because you're like, oh gosh, is it really?
You start meddling. And guess what? People do the same thing in their post-op recovery for plastic surgery if they're coming into it with the wrong stuff going on internally. They'll be meddling all up in my business. I literally be like, now why you all up in my business? Ain't nobody told you to do that.
Like what you said, who told you to not get a massage?
Who told you to do that? Well, I had just thought that ain't nobody told you to do that. You came to
surgical care. Fascinating. That's good.
Child. So that's why I started dealing with this stuff before, child. I'm like, listen, I want to know. And so literally I've had, women that I walked them through. The lady today, the skincare lady today, she was like, I want to do the prep. I'm like, you don't have to be getting surgery to do the prep. This is prep for us to enter into the promised land and the land of milk and honey that he got for us. That
and you know what? Like what that session that just happened, the Holy Spirit session that just happened. That's like an example of what's going to happen in the prep. I feel like I need to sign up. I'm not having
you in it, girl. you and Dr. Kiara are honorary members.
Oh, I'm so excited.
All your entry fee is just to cook. It's just to teach us how to make something healthy.
I can do that. I make some savory stuff, and I make some healthy stuff too.
You got any savory healthy? Or is there such a thing? Does that exist?
You could do like a crab stuffed chicken breast with broccoli. That's pretty healthy.
Yeah, okay. See, that's what I'm saying. That's your entry fee.
Okay, I can deal with that.
It's a cooking class. But this is what we're going to be doing. And this is part of why I also had the book club for the VIP, because this allows us to
so would it be like this in a session of multiple people?
Yeah, it'll be on
something
Zoom.
like this
Like
will
those
be
those
okay.
sessions will be on Sundays, and it'll be about probably. I'm planning for it to be an hour and a half, but you know how that go. And so usually when I do those book clubs, they be longer than that. But I'm scheduling it for an hour and a half. I'm committing an hour and a half. If it go over, obviously, y'all know me. The one last night was 100 minutes, child. Like, you know me. Listen.
100 minutes.
I mean, when I was doing book clubs, I did book clubs for all of 2020, every Sunday. And some of those some of them were 2 hours, some of them were 4 hours. Like, we planned for 2 hours, and most of your products are sold out. I can't purchase anything. Yeah, we're going through a rebranding, so things will restock completely the end of January, early February. So bear with
fire.
Now, if it's certain things that you need, give the office a call, because we can make recommendations on things you can substitute from the line that will, keep your skin nice and healthy in the meantime. But we're transitioning over to some different branding stuff. So, but yeah, this is one of the things we're going to do. This is a big part of it, is surrendering to the Lord. And this is going to allow, and the way we do it, it helps you lose weight. It helps you get mental clarity and focus. It helps you get a better understanding of the wounds in your soul, because you want to go into plastic surgery with that stuff on the mend. I'm not trying. I don't need people to.
It really affects everything.
It affects everything.
The sense of control affects every single thing. Yeah.
Yeah, it affects everything. And the other thing is, we need to be healthy physically. We need to be healthy and mentally clear in order to step into the things God has for our lives. People are praying for the Lord to expand their territory. Lord, increase my finances. Lord, increase my influence and all this other stuff, except we're not equipped physically to even endure what comes with that.
Or mentally.
Exactly. And one of the reasons why the most common thing I do is address the midsection in my practice. Like, is liposuction, is tummy tucks, is, all this kind of stuff to get that core in shape, right? And one of the big causes of central obesity is stress.
Yes.
And lack of sleep.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you don't sleep, your cortisol levels go up, and increased cortisol causes central obesity. Mm-hmm. It makes you gain weight in the gut.
Here. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So you're trying to fix it with plastic surgery, and I, as a plastic surgeon, can do absolutely nothing for your visceral fat. If we're doing all of this liposuction and tummy tucks and all this other stuff, and you're not eating right, and you're not getting any sleep, and so you're trying to do these things to lose weight, and the weight in your midsection just won't go anywhere, but night after night you get no sleep. This is a part of the problem. Dr. Amaka, is she frozen for y'all too, or is it just my screen? Is Dr. Amaka frozen for y'all, or just me? Yeah, she's gone. Okay. She'll come back on. So, she'll be back. So the question that we asked on this thing is, do I ever regret operating? Sometimes, a few times I have regretted. I felt like I did the person a disservice, because it was really they didn't have peace at first. Come back, Dr. Amaka, come back. They didn't have peace after the surgery. And so now I'm a lot more attentive on the front end to try to discern if it's somebody who if something needs to be dealt with emotionally before we step into surgery. So I would say, in short, the answer is yes. Sometimes I have regretted.
And I think, I feel like this is probably more present in plastic surgery, but that kind of like, we don't talk a lot about, and most people don't talk a lot. You don't see on social media like the mental stress that comes with all of it. Of being like someone on TikTok the other day commented on one of my videos, and they're like, no one really realizes like how stressful it is to be a surgeon, and it is. And
to
so,
be any
especially
kind of a surgeon,
any kind of a surgeon,
surgery
and
is really a lot.
it's a lot, or even to just to be in medicine, And so, I think a big part of that, and a lot of surgeons go through this in different fields, more so in plastic surgery, especially if you're like us and you like truly care about the heart and the spirit of women and people. We want people to be happy, and it's really hard to grasp that no matter what you do, someone's probably not going to be, no matter what you do, because perhaps in a sense, it's us, us realizing that, what, and I've gotten more at peace with it because I realized like I can't control everything.
No, and that's what I tell people. Like I had one patient a couple years ago, and it was every patient that I've had like this was somebody that I was like, that is good. They could like my work, like yes, and they were like, eh. I'm like, what?
I'll be like, and I'll be like, man, I'll be like, God bless these hands.
Yes, it's always, and they be like, mm-mm. And I'm like, what? Every time it's that. But this particular person, dang, I forgot the point I was about to make about that person. I forgot. It left while I was too busy patting myself on the back.
you were saying, God bless these hands.
No, I forgot what I was about to say.
Sorry, me chuckling is not helping.
Oh, you brought this up earlier because sometimes we're taking things that are normal.
Yes, I do breast reconstruction, so like a lot, but so in that case it's different. But a lot of what we do is that you're
taking a normal person, taking something normal and changing it, and if the person's it's just never.
If they're not ready, and honestly, it's a change. So even like you take someone who has had big breasts their whole life, and they want to have a breast reduction. I've had this happen where people are like, I wanted them smaller and they're smaller, but now I'm so used to them being big all the time. It's kind of weird. Like that's your body has changed, So I think even if it's changed for the better, right? Like we're making an improvement, we're restoring, maybe we're restoring your muscles or your abdominal wall, even though that is still a change from what you're used to seeing. So being just spiritually and emotionally ready for that.
And on top of that, after surgery, people are more emotional anyway. It's part of the hormone changes that happens after surgery as you're trying to heal this physical trauma to your body. And so if you already have some things that are just kind of like under there making waves in your life here and there, now you got this big physical assault on your body and all of these hormone shifts. This is why women who are pregnant be kind of all over the place because their hormones are, and that's what happens after surgery. So it can amplify things underlying that are there that you may not even realize are there. So, and here's the thing. I don't need the person to be 100% healed from the situation. Oftentimes, really all that needs to happen is that they realize it's an issue and be on the path to working on it. Because then this is how we can bring people back center after the fact. If I'm not expecting a person to be completely like, perfect emotionally. Like you need to be stable, but I'm not expecting for you to be like all the way healed and resolved with that issue in order to go into surgery, but you need to be aware of it and working towards healing.
Right. Just being aware that, okay, this is an issue as opposed to like not even awareness is everything.
So, I want everybody who is considering plastic surgery to ask yourself, some of these questions that we kind of brought up. I know one big question that I really try to get a hold of with anybody that I discern has some underlying wounds of their soul, is the control thing. Like, if you feel like you lack control in a bunch of areas of your life, is this an area where you're trying to assert control? If that is the case, you need not get to surgery right now. You need to wait until you get that worked out. Because the second something goes any way different than what you envision or what you can understand, it's going to be problems. Yes, baby boy.
I'm just waiting for you to get your call.
What's that in your hand? Oh, okay. I'll be off in a little bit. You want to tell Dr. Amaka hi?
Hi, Dr. Amaka.
Hi, honey.
Hi.
I can't see your face.
Hi, he's so handsome.
He's
Hi.
so cute.
That's my birthday twin.
Handsome.
That's my birthday twin. Huh?
When you're live, can you give me some Robux? Can I get some Robux?
Can Bennett do it for you?
You need to accept it.
Okay, I'll do it after I finish.
Okay.
He's like, you've been on this live too long. I need to ask my question.
No, he's like, I didn't wait long enough.
Does anybody have any questions for us?
But no, I think that's a really good question you brought up, like the sense of control. But also, I always ask, like, why? Because a lot of times it's something that people have thought about for years and years. And I'm like, why now?
That is a good question.
That's a big one. Why now?
That's a really good question.
Mm-hmm.
I had one lady that I told her, not right now. She actually never came back, but she might have. This was a long time ago. This is back when I was in Indiana. And she literally told me that I'm readjusting my legs was full, like I needed to. Sorry. I was sitting Indian style and my legs were starting to go to sleep. But she literally told me that her husband had cheated on her with this young girl with big boobs, and so she wanted to get big boobs. I was like, that's not gonna work. That ain't gonna work. Because when he keeps cheating with somebody with small boobs, are you gonna want the implants out? Like, that ain't.
Or the thought that this one thing is suddenly gonna change the whole dynamic, even if it does.
It has nothing to do with that.
No, it's
That's
not about
not a reason to get surgery. I'm like, you need to work through this situation first and we can talk again. She probably just went somewhere else and then knew to not say that to the next surgeon. And I had this one guy when I was in fellowship, and he was overweight. And he said he wanted whole body liposuction.
Whole body?
That's what he said. And he said that once he got his liposuction, I was sitting there like, you're like, this is like Friday afternoon conference. Like, you saying all the stuff that they told us in conference on Fridays. He was like, he wanted a whole body liposuction. And he said that everybody they're going to be mad when he get his liposuction, and he going to show them, and he knows he'll be able to get friends once he get his liposuction. Like, he said all that. I was not even joking. I was there like, am I getting punked? Are they testing me? It was like, he was saying everything that they ever said a patient shouldn't be saying.
I think the reason they said it is because people really do, it's like.
He said all of the things, though. Have you had one person say all the things?
Not all the things.
He said all. I was like, I don't think it's not going to work like that. Yes, it will. Then he started getting angry. They heard him getting loud in there, open the door, and we had to get him out of there.
I have had one. And I have had one consult so far that actually I was actually scared, like physically scared, because it got to the point where the person I was seeing just got very aggressive in the consult, because they started sensing that I was hesitant to do anything. So I was like, gosh, I'm listening to you and I'm just not connecting the dots. So he got up and he just got real aggressive. So that's the only time I've ever been like scared, like physically scared and worried, like, oh my gosh, because it's something that weighs so heavily, and so he was like, I can't believe she'd have the nerve to say no.
Right.
I'm like,
and they thought they could control the situation, and then when they can't control you, then I was physically afraid one time in the room with a patient as a plastic surgeon. One time it happened in med school. It wasn't in plastic surgery though, where I was scared, and we were literally in there like, is this man gonna shoot us? But this other time, it actually wasn't the patient; it was her husband.
Oh wow!
This lady, I mean, I had to call hospital security, and I didn't come in. I had went on vacation. While I was on vacation, the husband called up to the office. I had done, this was not even a cosmetic procedure. This lady was like 300 to 400 pounds, right? Mm-hmm. She was huge. And she had gotten open heart surgery. She had diabetes. She smoked. She was all the things that you don't operate on, but it was a heart patient with a sternal wound. And so I flipped up a V-ram into her chest to close it, and then the belly wound opened up. Mm-hmm. So she ended up having to get like the wound back and, you know, that kind of stuff. And then after all of that healed, I ultimately ended up doing a paniculectomy on her later. Well, after her paniculectomy, instead of being 350, she was 340. But she thought she was fine as wine, and she used to be out in them streets kicking it. She went to bingo with her cigarettes and all that stuff. Like, she was out kicking it in those streets. So her husband got mad because she wanted a divorce and all. It's like it wasn't even like a cosmetic thing. This was all like and so she left him, and the man called up to the office threatening me. He blamed me for it because ever since she got her surgery, like, I'm not even joking. And he called up there, like, he kept calling every day that I was gone. He called
after her V-ram and her paniculectomy.
Yes. Every day I was gone, he called up to the office saying, is she back yet? Is she back yet? Is she back yet? So they didn't tell me all of them calls, right? And then the day that I was supposed to be coming back, I was going to be there in the afternoon. My flight was in the morning. I was going to come to the office in the afternoon. When I got off the plane, I called up to the office like, okay, y'all, I'm on my way. And they told me, so-and-so's husband, he done been up here already. We told him he'd be back today. I said, wait, what? What you mean? What he coming waiting on me for? He want surgery? I didn't even understand he had did all this stuff, right? She was like, he's been calling every day since. I said, wait, so he been calling every day. She done left him. He blamed me. And y'all told him when to expect me back?
You didn't put one and one together?
Listen here. Ask me who wasn't up at the office that afternoon. I said, do you understand that people will kill plastic surgeons? Do you understand? Like,
it's happened before.
Listen, my husband escorted me to work for the rest of the week. I don't remember how that settled out, but I didn't go back up there that day. And when I went back the next day, my husband came with me. We had to have hospital security outside my office for a while, like till that dude calmed down. They eventually got back together. She was just out in them streets for a second because she wasn't used to being there. I don't know what was going on.
You said out in the streets. You said playing bingo.
It was one of the situations where it's not like it was. I was so not expecting that because nothing about the situation. She didn't get a new boob job and a mommy makeover. She was a literal heart patient in every way, in every way, like with all the morbidities, all the issues that happen when you do surgery on those people. She had all of that stuff, and she was living her best life. Mm-hmm. So actually, the issue wasn't with her. She was confident.
She was confident. She was fine. I guess she just decided that she was going to leave.
She came back. I was like, where are you? When I finally started, I'm like, where are you going? Like, go home.
Well, no. You said she was in the streets playing bingo with us.
She was playing bingo, honey. She was out in them streets having a good time, honey. So that was the only time I was afraid for my life physically. It actually wasn't the patient. It was the spouse. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know that don't have nothing to do with what we was talking about, but that's actually important though because
it is.
There was nothing where I could have saw that would happen, but there have been times where the spouse is there, which is really rare. Most of the spouses that I encounter are extremely supportive and actually discouraging the woman from getting it, making sure they understand you. Please don't think you got to get this for me. Like that's the norm in my situation, in my practice.
Yeah, same.
But every once in a while, it'll be a situation where I'm like, let her talk. Like, I asked her. So what do you
like,
want?
What's going on?
You know,
what's kind of going on? Like, what's going on?
Yeah,
here?
because those are situations.
Are you pressured to do this?
Right, because those are situations where, you know, if it's not a stable home environment domestically, you don't need to be doing surgery. If you have an unstable domestic situation, you don't need to be getting surgery right now. That needs to get ironed out first. So that's kind of the highlight. So the plastic surgery prep helps people prepare in that way, and also helps them to, like, you know, get their weight where it needs to be all in the same time. I ate literally, I probably ate I ate half of a German chocolate cake over the past week. And all I keep thinking about is on January 2nd, I'm going to start. And
but you ate it like slowly. You didn't indulge it.
I ate a half of a German chocolate cake over a week. It wasn't a week. When did I get that cake? Did I get that cake on Wednesday?
So you had a slice a day.
It was more than that. And it wasn't no little German chocolate cake.
It's okay.
And it was 3 layers.
You know what I think about eating sweets and savory foods? It's all about consistency.
I definitely consistently ate it every day.
I feel like if you consistently eat well, and every so often you might have a fried apple pie.
That's not what happened.
But you consistently eat well, right? Was it good?
Definitely.
Well, there you go.
And
I
can say I consistently ate well, depending on how you define eating well. But it'll come Tuesday or come Sunday.
No, Monday.
The program starts Sunday. You gonna do the whole program? What you gonna do, Dr. Amaka? You gonna walk with Jesus every day for 30 minutes?
Yeah. What time is it for?
You can do it at any 30 minutes you choose. You got 24 hours. You get to pick 30 minutes to walk with Jesus.
Go get paper towel for this. 30 minutes. So, and then is it like a set? As I walk with Jesus, is there a certain thing I listen to?
Yeah, I'm gonna send all of that out.
Oh yeah, I'll do it.
You got to walk 30 minutes.
Outside.
Preferably.
The problem is, but I can do it because I wake up and leave so early.
Well, I don't want you walking in the dark, Dr. Amaka.
I'm gonna be walking with Jesus.
I understand, but listen, look, ladies, I don't want you walking in the dark even with Jesus.
I know. Jesus is like, I never told you to do that.
Listen, Satan out of them streets too, child.
I'm gonna meet my girl at bingo.
Right, you gonna be listen. I don't want you walking in the dark with Jesus outside. If you gonna walk in the dark,
30 minutes, I can find 30 minutes a day to walk.
A lot of people can do it since we fasting until 3.
That's good.
Since we're fasting until 3, people can walk during their lunch breaks.
Are you gonna take trim in the morning when you fast, and you're gonna take it in the evening?
I'm probably gonna take it in the evening.
Okay.
Because it don't make you jittery or nothing.
I'll occasionally intermittent fast, and I'm always thinking, like, should I?
I always am confused when I fast. Like, should I take it at 6 a.m.? But I always usually end up. Sometimes when I fast, I forget to even take it, and if I do take it, I usually take it in the evening.
Okay. So the fasting till 3 is for how many days?
The whole 6 weeks.
The whole 6 weeks.
Every day.
That's doable.
So people can walk on their lunch break. Yes, it's open to the public, but you know the whole program. There's a cost to it. So let me put.
Oh, Elizabeth, you'll walk with me. Elizabeth, I didn't know Elizabeth here. Elizabeth's a nurse in our office. She's hilarious.
Yes, Elizabeth. My staff is doing it too. That
No, that
plastic.
sounds good. We could just walk in the neighborhood.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's what I do. Hold on, I was trying to put it in there for people. Wait a minute, Dr. Maka, do you have a link?
Oh, you know what? You sent me the thing I have to fill out.
You ain't do it? Wow.
Well, you know, like I got the link and I was like, I'm gonna do it right now. You know how it is. You know of all people. You gotta pin your comment, Dr.
Oh,
Milo.
hold on, how I do that? Where my comment going? I lost it over. Oh,
It's a hot mess. It's a hot mess, Dr. Milo.
I'm a hot mess.
So you gotta pin it.
There we go. Y'all help me out here in
pin
these streets. Yeah. So in the program, there's kind of multiple facets to it, and there will be more than that because basically the Lord has been downloading this I don't know what to call it because it's this is not the blueprint. He's been downloading this blueprint to me in pieces, and with this first group of people that I go through, that you guys will be going through it with me because I need to get my way down for my surgery. So I'm like, that's part of how I was like, okay, I gotta get some of this weight off before my surgery, and then the Lord started just down. So there will be more things as I'm just gonna do whatever I feel led to do. But what is currently built into the program, you're going to get a six weeks of
So the program's 6 weeks.
Yes. It goes from January 2nd to February 10th.
Okay.
And for 6 weeks you're going to commit to walking 30 minutes each day with Jesus. Okay. What that entails, you're not trying to speed walk. Running is cool if you normally run and and you can run and your mind can be focused on the Lord. But if you don't normally run, I don't want you to run because you'll be really focused on the fact that you're tired, winded, all that kind of stuff. And the goal is to literally be focused on what you're hearing. And I want people to listen to the Bible, or I gave the people a book list of the books that I was listening to during that 6 weeks that the Lord took me through this process last year. So those are your options, because sometimes I didn't want to listen to the Bible because I was listening to the Bible a lot. And so sometimes I just wanted to hear. So it's faith-based books that helped me work on those initial areas that had to get right before God could take me and start teaching me the next level of things that he needed for me to learn for my assignment. Okay.
That's nice. And it's audiobook.
Everything's audio because we're walking to listen to, like we're listening to it.
That's great.
So we're going to commit to walking 30 minutes a day. I warn you now, it'll probably turn into more than that. 30 minutes goes by really fast when you're pouring into your soul. It goes by real quick. So 30 minutes won't be hard once you do it. You'll see. That's not your exercise. That is to connect with the Holy Spirit. So I'm going to lay out the things that you can listen to. On top of that, you're going to have I called it a devotional, but it's not really a devotional. It is a guided Bible studies / journal. So I'm going to guide you to certain scriptures. I ask certain pointed questions around those scriptures. Some of the scriptures, I will write what the scripture is, but I'll write the number, like say Genesis 3:2. But I won't say what it is. And so you have to go look it up and fill it in. And this makes people open up their Bibles.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It's different when you have to open it yourself and like really read it.
So some of the scriptures I give you, the number and the actual scripture, if I give you the scripture, I give it to you in the New Living Translation. And I encourage people who aren't used to reading the Bible all the time to use a translation that is simpler to understand. Well, then for those important scriptures, all the scriptures are important, but the ones that I'm really highlighting, I will have you find the King James Version and write that out yourself. So it is not a ton of scriptures. It's probably like anywhere from 3 to 5 of them a day. Okay. And then I'll have some questions that I ask you to reflect on what those scriptures meant to you. And then I'll have a space for you to reflect on what that means for your life and for you. So this is going to start bringing some things to the surface that maybe you didn't even realize were buried in there. So that's part of that. You get that, both VIP and general get that guide. Then on top of that, we're going to have live workouts with my sister Mia, who is a workoutaholic, and she get and meal plan planned out for her. She gives us 6 meal plans to work from. Some of them are vegetarian, some of them are have chicken and fish included in the diets. She's a vegetarian, she's not vegan, but she's vegetarian. But she has options she's got 6 different menus you can choose from with grocery lists and everything. So you don't have to figure out nothing. All you have to do is commit to the process and follow the instructions. Then we have our book club meetings on Sundays, and then once a week there will be a 1-hour live stream within our Facebook group about a plastic surgery topic related to pre-surgery journey. And then awesome. the VIPs are the only ones with the book club. The book club is not for the general admission people. And then also at the end of the 6 weeks, we're going to have a 1-day retreat for the VIPs.
Like in person?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, we're going to have a 1-day retreat. Because after we do all of that together, I'm going to have contests.
It's going to be, well, you know where it's going to be?
Probably Atlanta, but maybe Florida. Probably Atlanta, though, because it's just 1 day.
Yeah,
it'll probably be in Atlanta. She's looking at Atlanta places, but probably I'll have like a longer retreat after this is over, that people can do, and it'll be in Florida near the ocean. But this will be in it's just 1 day, so this one will probably be in Atlanta.
That sounds nice.
Yeah, so you're really set up to losing the weight, because we need to lose the weight. But what's going to happen with the fasting and the soul surgery that happens pre-physical surgery, is you're going to start healing some of the stuff that's kept you from stepping into the stuff God has for you, and heal from some of the stuff that can make you inadvertently get yourself hurt with plastic surgery, because you need to deal with that first. I've taken some people through this process individually over the last year when they needed to lose weight. And they're like different people now.
It's amazing.
Literally like different people. Just like I'm a different person. I'm a totally different person than the one when I was 2 years ago. Totally different. So that's the program. It's gonna be fun. So Dr. Kiara's doing it.
I'm doing it.
Dr. Amaka's doing it, and she's gonna be teaching us cooking stuff. It's gotta be healthy though. Your stuff be looking like the stuff, like your stuff be looking looking like we need to prep so that we can do what we did eating.
Somebody said, Dr. Amaka, I just got the cookbook and I'm dusting off my elliptical.
Right, your food, I'll be like, oh wow.
Some of the stuff is healthy. No, really, some of it is. Seriously.
Your stuff be giving me Darius Cooks vibes. It's just so decadent and rich and full of flavor and calories.
Oh, goodness.
Oh, Miss Coco, you ordered. Miss Coco, what's your name? What stuff did you order? I don't know. You don't want everybody to know your real name. Let's see. What's your latest? Oh, thank you, Brady J. Rose. Oh, the cost for general admission is $597 for the 6 weeks, and the cost for VIP is $1297. And PayPal is one of the ways you can pay. They have pay later, but they only have it sometimes. It's weird, like, oh, Shakoa Hager. Shakoa, that's my number one. She's the first person to sign up.
Oh, I love that.
Shakoa, you want to come on here and say hi to the people? She was a first. She signed up. I was still telling people what was in it, and I saw Shakoa's name come across the top of my screen. I was like, Shakoa. Thank you so much. I'm so excited. I'm just excited,
It's so exciting to journey with women.
Oh, Marissa said, she said no. She must look terrible, child. Like how I'll be looking right before I push live on these videos. One of my patients, she's a
before I was like, let me get some lip gloss because
one of my patients is like a CEO of like this big hair company, and they own a bunch of different wig companies on Instagram and stuff. I was like, what? Because the way that when she came for her consult, I looked at her. She had this kind of wig on. I was like, is that a headband wig? That's what I said to her. She was like, yes. And she told me what she did for her. I was like, what? So she sent me this wig like 2 days later after she left. I was like, huh. So then today she sent me another wig. So as soon as I opened up that box, I slapped this wig off. So I'm sitting there looking like Miss Cleo from Set It Off. In my office. And one of the new ladies that I just hired, she just started with me like maybe a couple weeks ago or a month ago. She walked back there when my wig was off. I was like, this girl gonna quit. She like, called me back there in Marissa's office trying them out. Yes, Shakoa sponsored someone. Like, Shakoa is awesome. She sponsored one of the ladies who did all the Zoom calls with us last week.
Oh, that's so nice. That's
and
awesome.
she couldn't afford to do it, and Shakoa sponsored her.
That's awesome.
Shakoa's awesome. So anyway, yeah, y'all can laugh at me in my hair. It's all good. But Marissa was all surprised. She was like, wait a minute, is that your hair? Oh, that's your hair, that. I'm like, girl, yeah. Just because I wear wigs don't mean I don't have no hair.
Yeah, I've seen your hair. You have hair.
Yeah, I've got hair. I just I don't want to go get my hair done right now. I'm cool on hairstylists right now, so I just get my wigs done.
It's a lot of energy that goes into that.
Yeah, I just, it's a lot of stuff going on here in Atlanta with people and some of the things they practice, and a lot of those people who practice funny things, they do hair. So right now I'm just chilling. I'm still cracking up about you need to grab your wig.
Oh yeah, that was on yesterday's live. I was just dying laughing. You like grab my wig and my gun. The Holy Spirit said no gun, but he never said nothing.
He ain't say nothing about my wig, child. I was like, can I put my wig on, Lord, honey? All these folks at the door and I don't got no hair on, honey. He said, put your wig on, but leave that gun up there, child. So Marissa keeps having a heart attack about you going live from your kitchen with the food. Yes, Marissa, she gonna teach us how to make some stuff. Marissa, all jokes aside, I want you to do the same thing. Marissa can cook.
She does keto, doesn't she?
Yes.
So that would be good.
Yeah, we're gonna have Marissa do that too. So we're gonna do a lot of things, but those are the things you get. That's for sure. And then I'm just gonna do what the Holy Spirit leads me to do, to make sure that the people in the group receive the service that they need in order to get over this hurdle. I know my weight has been something that I've been struggling with for the last 5 years. I didn't really have problems with my weight until all the stresses that came from me moving to Atlanta and starting a practice, because I didn't have no weight problems before I came here. And the thing that's different is the amount of stress that I was carrying and me trying to figure out how to do it all by myself without allowing God to help me. And it affected my health. So I'm gonna, help people with things that God showed me when I finally, surrendered, and it helped me to get healthier. Because even though there's still more for me to do, I'm in a way better place than I was last year. So just keep forging ahead. But now I got to kind of expedite it because my surgery's coming up in the spring. So, any questions, y'all, before we get off of here?
Questions. She said she has lots of keto. I'm excited. I love a good recipe.
Yeah, we're gonna. Marissa, you can do a cookbook too, child.
Keto cookbook.
Yeah. All right. I guess they don't have no questions, Dr. Amaka. We're gonna go ahead on and sign off. If any of the people who are following Dr. Amaka want to join the prep, go ahead and shoot. You can enroll and shoot me. Once you enroll, you can respond to the email and let us know Dr. Amaka referred you.
Yeah, that's simpler.
Yeah, we'll do that. Who's doing your surgery? Who do you trust? I'll reveal that eventually. I don't want it to be about my surgery per se. I don't want
more
that
about the journey
to progress.
that.
Yeah. So I'll reveal that eventually. Somebody said she won't tell.
Who said that?
Nicole was like, she won't tell. She let the other person know. Yeah, I'll reveal that eventually, but right now I don't want us to be distracted by that part. All right. Okay, everybody, I'm gonna go and tend to these children. He was so nice coming here being all polite, like, mama, it's time. So you go. Your baby sleep by now?
No.
Oh.
They sleep. They usually sleep by like 8:30.
Oh yeah, I guess it is an hour behind.
So we got a couple more minutes.
All right, well,
It'll
go
probably be 9.
spend your last 6 minutes with the kids before they go to sleep. Thank you so much for coming on here with me.
Oh, it's always a good time.
Our talks are so fun.
We need to do this.
You know,
often.
we're supposed to do this every Friday night. Remember?
I do remember. We have to do it. Just get so caught up, because we're both taking the assignments that we're given by the Holy Spirit. The assignments leave us pretty busy, though.
Exactly. So, all right. Bye, my friend.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.